Okay, today we're grinding stumps, and that means that things might, fling around and stuff, so that means we need to talk about PPE, alright? That's fancy lab term for personal protective equipment. And the first thing we gotta remember is our lab goggles. Alright, so this is eyewear protection, you've got that covered, check. Okay, second thing, if your hair is longer than your shoulders, you need to tie it back. Alright, you got that, check. Alright, now next. No shirts with holes or anything. Looks like you got that down. Okay.
Mine's got a hole in it.
Okay, alright, now pants need to cover your ankles, no holes or anything. Yep, you've got that down.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, oh no. Oof.
We have to start over?
Yeah. Since it's the first lab, I'll let you slide. Alright, and you got closed-toed shoes. Okay, last thing for lab.
Closed-toed shoes? Even you have closed-toed shoes.
Can you believe it? I don't have long pants, but we're not going to talk about that. So last thing for your lab check-in, I'm going to need you to sign this paper, and then you can leave early.
Catriel can get a puppy? No.
You got to sign it.
I will not sign that.
You won't sign it?
You won't sign it.
Hey, before we get started, we're going to check the teeth on our new grinder. I've used it several times. I've kind of rotated it around just to make sure that, like, all the roots and stuff from the previous grinds have been off of it, and also to make sure they're tight. I hear that these teeth can get loose pretty easily, so I want to make sure to check. This is a new toy on Tractor Time with Tim. I've used this thing for, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. I wanted to make sure I used it several times before I showed it on video because, well, I wanted to make sure I could make it work. This is a Baumalight, BAUMALIGHT.com. It's available at a lot of dealers. I checked, and almost every small equipment dealer in the area here carries this brand. In fact, the other day when we were visiting the Coyote dealer, they had one on the lot.
We want to thank the folks at Baumalight for allowing us to play with this grinder and kind of show you how it works. Once I started grinding on this one, I realized it was pretty old and pretty rotten, so it grinds really easily. One thing I want to mention about this grinder, and I really like about it, is that it's made in North America. It's actually made in Toronto. I've heard some interesting stories about where it's made there in Toronto. I need to find out some more details, and maybe I'll share that in a later video. Now this is a different stump. This is actually the very first stump I ever tried to grind with it. I wanted you to try to see the view from the tractor seat. And we forgot to capture any video from that angle on the project featured in this video. Now we're back to the stump we started on. We got that rotten top ground off pretty quickly, and I'm just working on making sure we get it well below ground and get some of those extra roots out. Now this seems really good to show you how it flexes. There's a pin that you remove to allow that flex to occur. This allows the grinder to work at its own pace, really, grinding the stump as fast as it can. Now you need a hydrostatic tractor to be able to grind with this grinder effectively. I suppose if you have a creeper gear on your tractor, you might be able to make it work, but I don't think it would be very enjoyable. This is my favorite feature of using Johnny to grind stumps. I can come back in with this loader and see if I'm done. We have encountered so many stumps that are partially ground in people's yards. But with these teeth, I'm able to dig in and get those roots just like Christy's found, and smooth everything out and make it look a lot more finished. Remember, you can get your tooth bar at heavyhitch.com. and you can get a 5% discount on your entire heavy hitch purchase with coupon code TTWT. Someone asked in a comment about back dragging with the teeth on. Well, here's how I do it.
So Dad, was that stump blasted?
That stump was blasted. Yeah, this is the Stump Blaster, isn't it?
It is the stump blaster.
That particular stump was a lot more rotten than what I expected.
Yeah.
So it came out really quick and really easy. Some stumps get really hard when they get old. Those can grind a lot harder than that.
Now we're going to tackle that big rotten stump. Danny sawed the top of it in our last episode, and yeah, it looked pretty rotten, so it should go quickly. I expected that Johnny might not have enough horsepower to handle this unit. I haven't found that to be the case at all, but I have found that it will sometimes pull him to the right, maybe even 3 or 4 inches on a single pass. Grinding stumps, at least with this grinder, is not a speedy task. It takes some time. I'm not sure that this grinder is well suited for a commercial application. I think if you can afford it and you're trying to grind stumps for a living, one of those big commercial grinders might be just the right thing. Having said that, this grinder does add yet another dimension to the versatility of the subcompact tractor. I really would have had no way to get this stump out without a grinder like this. I would have dug with a little 260 backhoe for a week before I'd have got this thing out. And don't tell him, but I'm not sure Casey would have been up to the task either. I try to find a technique to minimize that bouncing, but sometimes it's pretty difficult. But I suspect I'll get better at it over time. It's not a real comfortable position. It's hard to see in there. I end up driving with the wrong foot. That's the only way I can seem to be comfortable doing it. But it gets the job done. And this grinder is actually pretty cost effective. Find your local dealer at Baumalight.com and call them for more information.
I'm not done yet, but I can't see yet.
Again, it's really nice to be able to use the loader and the tooth bar to clear out some of that sawdust and some of the dirt that I've stirred up there. Figure out what I've got left. For instance, there I hit some. That's a remaining piece of the stump that I need to work on. Along about now, you're probably asking, why do you have the mower deck on? Well, believe it or not, we're actually going to mow his yard in a few minutes as soon as we get these stumps ground. Johnny of all trades.
We'll dig out a little bit more and see what it looks like with the loader bucket. But I think we got it. The question is, how deep does it have to be?
It's probably fine the way it is.
I think that's pretty well got it. Now, this stump was really rotten. I don't know that I would have even tackled this big a stump if it had been in really good shape. I don't know what I would have done, in fact, because I don't really think we have the equipment to handle this big a stump. But in this case, our friend Danny had already sawed it off and he had seen that it was totally rotten. So we thought we could get that with the grinder, and it ground very well. I mean, I could have envisioned several hours grinding on a stump that size.
So you kind of got the tractor bouncing it sometimes. How did you stop the bouncing?
Well, first of all, one of the things that I notice, it's contrary to how I would typically think, is that when it's bouncing, it's really digging.
Because it forces it down, the
Yeah.
negative G.
But to kind of stop it from bouncing, one thing I can do is just lift it up and get it out of the way. But I find that if I take a bigger bite, pushing it down a little lower, it doesn't tend to bounce as bad. I kind of look, and what I really like to see is the really big wood chips coming out of it. I think that means I'm being about as efficient as I can be. When I see really small sawdust, I know it's not digging very fast.
Well, you got some big chunks coming out because we had to flee.
You had to flee?
Yeah.
We had to run a little bit.
Yeah, we were getting bombarded.
Even with those cool glasses you got on?
Well, it's my unprotected legs.
Oh, so you didn't follow all of the rules of what? PPE?
PPE, yeah.
Okay.
It's your own fault.
It's 80 degrees out here.
I got 2 more stumps, and one of them looks pretty healthy over here. That's a black walnut tree.
It stinks.
It stinks, I guess, but to me it kind of smells good. It reminds me of woodworking class in high school.
I decided to come in from the other side and see if it was any different. Just another experiment, see how things go. This black walnut tree was really hard. Much harder wood than I'd worked on other trees.
All the teeth are still good. I was trying to do an experiment here, whether it's more effective to grind on the, what I might say, the right side of the stump versus the left side of the stump. It's inconclusive to this point, so. I understand a bigger bite from a depth standpoint, but I'm trying to figure out, do you take the full width of the stump or just a little side? I don't know, a lot to learn yet.
And that is science.
Well, one thing's true, it'll grind. Now, this is a good hard stump. So, I mean, the other 2 we showed you, yeah, you could say, oh, those were rotten, so they weren't a good test. But this is a good hard stump. It can't have been here too long. Well, it may have been here a while, but not enough to rot, because it's not rotten at all. If anything, it's been here just long enough to get hard.
And provide allergies.
I don't think the stump is providing allergies. That's the grass on the trees.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the stump. The stump's angry that you're grinding it.
Okay.
When that happens, what?
It just took a big bite and I couldn't stop it.
As a reminder, we'll put the link to that Baumalight dealer locator in the description. Baumalight has quite a large dealer network. The Coyote dealer that we visited, as well as the Kubota dealer, and the Deere dealer that we visited and we haven't shown you yet, all have this product line. Baumalight has quite a wide product line. A lot of hydraulic motor-driven products for skid steer loaders and tractors and excavators. A lot of fun stuff. Go check out their site at baumalight.com. Almost dark now, and we still got to get that yard mowed. I suspect this will be the first and last time that I've mowed a yard with the stump grinder on.
Do you think Dad'll do a better job of mowing than I did last time?
Maybe.
It wouldn't be hard.
Since there's big areas of our yard you kind of forgot.
Well,
You know,
it was cheap help.
it was, yes. We did feed you that night, though.